Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, y'all. Wow, we are here another week.
Here I am. Here we are. Yes, another week.
We are here another week, and you know what? I have to tell you, it is definitely kind of man lately. I don't know, have you guys just really been feeling a little just tense, on edge, just let's all just breathe in, breathe out. It just seems like a lot lately. However, today's video, I hope if you are looking to move to New York City, I thought I would do a video about just moving to the city, what's going on in the city right now in terms of just the overall vibe. What is the energy like in New York City these days? I'm gonna get into that in this video. Also gonna talk about crime on the subway in this video, and just in general, some things about just moving here that a first timer, if you are looking to move to the city this year, things you should know before you pull the trigger on moving here. So let's get to today's video. The first thing I want to talk about, and I know this has probably been a hot button topic in the news lately, is just the overall vibe and crime in New York City.
In just the last few days, there have been multiple violent attacks in the subway system.
Numbers from the NYPD show an uptick in subway crime, especially robberies and thefts.
Tonight, police are looking for that man you just saw holding 2 cans of fire on the subway platform.
Police need your help in finding 2 people they say were involved in a subway stabbing. This happened in the Bronx.
Now to the subway shooting. Passengers were frightened. A man shot with his own gun.
Can you imagine standing down here and seeing some guy with fire in his hands?
It happened during rush hour, right as we were coming off the air last night. The victim was pushed onto the tracks, was pronounced dead on the scene.
So let's have a real talk about it. At the end of the day, anything that happens in New York City, I feel can happen anywhere in the world. So I don't know that, you can say something like New York City is so unsafe, because yes, some people have been getting, punched in the face or the victim of just random crazy crime in the city just in the past few weeks, right?
I was literally just walking and a man came up and punched me in the face.
Stories from New York City women going viral on TikTok.
Women have been punched in the face, attacked on the subway. Some people have been pushed in front of moving trains and killed.
NYPD data from last month shows many crimes are down in the city compared with last year, including shootings, burglaries, and murders. But felony assaults are up. Broken down by week, misdemeanor assaults are up 10% compared to the same period last year.
But, that doesn't discount the craziness that is going on in the city. I will say, as someone that has lived here for 5 years, I don't feel as safe on the train as I did when I first moved here. There's something about after the pandemic that the subway completely changed. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on exactly what it is, but there's a lot going on down in that subway that was not going on before the pandemic. So I know the city and the state are really trying, quote unquote, hard to sort of improve safety and crime down there, but I don't know what they can do to actually get it under control to make us all feel safer, but it needs to happen, because we cannot be paying the amount of money that we pay here to live and then have to go down to a subway and potentially get hurt. I don't think that's fair. So I definitely think the crime in New York City can improve. You should be aware, if you're looking to move to New York City, that there are some random crimes happening. So if you are thinking about moving here and you do move here, like they say, when you see something, say something, see something, say something. Or turn your head around like it's on a swivel and make sure that nothing crazy is happening around you. For instance, the other day I was at a bar and a kid kept pushing himself into me, and I said, is everything okay? What's going on? Why are you feeling the need to keep pushing yourself into me? So you just have to be aware of what is going on around you and just really be cognizant of things happening around you at all points. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is our mayor.
They feel emboldened to do whatever they want. When the mayor has swagger, the city has swagger. I'm going to ignore them. If they like it or not, I'm the mayor. The city of swagger.
I have made it clear I hate rats, and we are going to kill some rats.
Hold on, one moment. Don't do that. Order, not disorder.
Our mayor is an absolute disaster. So if you're looking to move here, just know that he is in office for, I guess, a few more years. Just know that you're going to see him doing some silly antics. Eric is a mess. And I don't know that Eric will get reelected, but just know that government here in general is generally a hot ass mess. I don't know what it is about a big city, but big cities in America just can't seem to get it right with the mayors. And it doesn't matter, Republican, Democrat, I don't care. Like, how can we be paying all this money and someone with common sense can't be running the city? I don't understand. We got to figure that out. So just know that if you are looking to move here, know that the government is a bit of a mess. But I guess that goes for the whole country. So the next thing I want to talk about is nightlife. If you're looking to move to New York City, baby, the nightlife is probably some of the best in the country. You can find something for anybody. Like, if you're looking to go salsa dancing, you can probably find that any night of the week. If you're looking to go to hip hop night, any night of the week. If you're looking to go to a gentleman's club, you can find that here too. Literally, there is something for everybody here. And I always tell people whenever they are talking or thinking about moving here, I'm just like, listen, New York City is what you make of it. If you want to go out every night, there is definitely something for you to do every night. You could be busy every night, booked and busy, going out, no sleep, another club, bus, train, plane, automobile. You can do it all. But at a certain token, what exactly are you getting from that? If you're going out every night, that means you're spending a lot of money, you're probably not eating well, and it's going to drive down your overall happiness. So one thing I will say in New York City is you can wind up, we love a siren, you can wind up going out every night, but at the end of the day, you might not be happy with doing that. So you really have to be on top of yourself when you are living here. You have to control yourself more than I would say you would control yourself in a smaller city or even a bigger city like Los Angeles. Because, oh my God, literally, you could be sitting at your house and one of your friends could text you and be like, oh my God, do you want to go to this event? And you have to jog through your head like, do I really want to do that? Or can I mentally handle that? So you have to just weigh a lot of mental stability and social battery decisions here, because how much can you handle? So with nightlife, just keep remembering that. Next topic is the subway. I already kind of touched on the subway, but I want to talk more in depthly about it because you would expect a big city like New York City to have their shit together when it comes to transportation. And listen, let's be clear, the subway is probably one of the best in the world because of how good it is and efficient it is that you could hop on the subway here in Brooklyn and get to Harlem within an hour. But there are some inconveniences that you do have to deal with, like on the weekends. I live in Brooklyn. It's impossible to get around on the weekends. So I recommend if you're looking to move here, you really research where you want to live and figure out what the subway situation is like every day. Because if you move to a particular city, or if you move to a particular place in New York City and you are just like over it with the subway, that can drive you crazy and really, really decrease your mental health and stability. And that's obviously not what you want when you move here. So just make sure that you're aware of what the subway situation is like in the neighborhood that you're deciding on, and really, really, really try to understand what you can sort of like, deal with. For instance, if the subway line is down on weekends and you want to live in Brooklyn, are you okay with maybe buying Ubers more than you would buy Ubers in Manhattan on the weekend? Because the weekend trains in Manhattan definitely run a lot more than they do in Brooklyn. So just saying, make sure you're cool with whatever the subway situation is like in your neighborhood before you move there. The next thing I want to talk about with spring coming in, which I'm so sorry, my eye is twitching, so I'm like, what is going on? Who's talking about me? Hey. No, it's like really twitching. The next thing I want to talk about with spring coming in play is parks. The one thing that I love the most about New York City is when New York City comes alive, there is the most insane energy in the air. I've never experienced it anywhere else in the world. I'm not saying I'm a world traveler or anything, but I've been around a few places, and there is nothing like a New York City spring into summer. Like that energy of just the fire hydrants going off, people in the streets, the music playing of all different genres, and just vibrancy. Like there's nothing better than that in New York City. I will say those are two of the best months in New York City. You have spring, summer, and fall. Those are probably the best of the best. And winter is probably the worst for parks, just because not a lot of people are out in the winter because it's cold as fuck. So just know that you will probably see a lot of activity start to decline towards the winter. But in spring, summer, and fall, the parks are the place to be. Get you some wine or some beer or whatever else you want to bring to the park, pop a squat, and have a day. People watching galore. Some of my favorite parks are Washington Square Park, Prospect Park, Marsha P. Johnson Park. What's that other one in Brooklyn? Oh gosh, I'm blanking. But in the description of this, I will list out my favorite parks so you can check them out if you decide to move to New York. And I will say the one good thing about the city is the amount of parks here. We have an endless amount of parks. Like, I don't know who designs all of that stuff, but bravo to you, you're doing a great job. Oh, Central Park is also great. I completely forgot that, but clearly that's the best park in the world, probably. So yes, there is that. The next thing I'm gonna touch on, but probably do a complete another video on because it is so much, is culture and food. You can literally get food from anywhere in the world here, especially in Queens. Queens is, I would consider Queens like the borough of the world. Like it has every single culture you can think about, food-wise and just people, everything. So go to Queens if you want to experience any culture in the world. It is the borough, okay? Brooklyn, the same, and then Manhattan is more of the, I would say Manhattan is more of the stuffier boroughs. Like, if you're going to Manhattan, it's definitely bougier and gonna be way more expensive than Queens and Brooklyn. So just know that like when I'm at home in the weekends, I live in Brooklyn, I'm not leaving like that. Like I'm not going to Manhattan like that all the time. There's just no need. You can get anything in Brooklyn that you're gonna get in Manhattan for less of price and less of bullshit. Because I will say the attitude in Manhattan is completely different than what you'll get in the outer boroughs. Don't at me for that because I know you will, but like it is what it is. So yeah, I'll do a whole nother video on culture and food, and I will also put some of my favorite restaurants in the description of this video. The next thing I want to talk about is marijuana usage and smoke shops. So just know when you're coming here that marijuana just got legalized in New York City, or in New York in general, maybe like a year ago. So just know that you are going to smell weed when you're walking down the street. Like it's a matter of 1 block, 2 block, 3 blocks. You're going to see 5 to 10 smoke shops. It's a thing here now. So if that's not for you, just know that you're probably going to live near one. You're probably going to live near people that smoke. and people that, you know, hang out outside and smoke marijuana. Like, it is a thing here, so just know that. I'm just saying, I'm not complaining about it because I am one of those people. But just, I wanted you to know that because some people are very sensitive to that. So there is that. The last thing that I wanted to talk about in this particular video, and now I'm thinking I'm gonna do a part 2 of this, so let me know if you have any questions on anything in the comments, and I will answer those in the part 2 of this video. The next thing though that I'm gonna talk about is groceries. Child, let me tell you something. You are going to spend money on food here. The prices of everything are substantially higher than anywhere else I've been in the country. So just know that I call it the New York City tax. Everything is higher. Eggs, water, milk, literally everything, you're going to pay a New York City premium on it. So know that I do grocery delivery through Fresh Direct or Amazon, but just know that you're going to be paying more for things that you wouldn't be paying more for in like a small town. So if you're thinking about moving here, consider that into your expenses, because if you don't, you're gonna be mad shocked when you like, damn, I gotta pay this much for milk. Like, milk will probably be like $8 sometimes, which is crazy. Also, speaking about kind of bills and stuff like that, like rent in New York City is astronomically crazy. I spend $40,000 a year on rent. So just know that whatever you spend money on in another smaller space, maximize that in your budget, because it is going to be more than what you're spending if you live in a smaller town. Now, if you live in LA, I would say probably LA is probably a little bit more comparable than any other city in the country. But my rent in LA was probably around $2,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a parking spot and a pool. Obviously, that's completely not available in New York City, but like that particular price would be like $5,000 to $6,000 here in New York City. What I have here is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath with a terrace, and I pay $3,200. I would probably pay $2,500 to $2,700 for the same thing in LA. So do your research, do your digging, do your research. I cannot stress enough, if you are moving here, you really want to make sure that this is the right fit for you before you do it. So if you have any other questions about living in New York City, and if you have any questions about being a queer person in a big city, let me know down in the comments. I am queer, darlings. I am gay, darling, if you couldn't tell. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I will be happy to answer them in the next video that I do about living in New York City. So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next video, and turn on those notifications. You literally can do that for free. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.